to give you a glimpse at the beginning and a glimpse at the end. So basically I started with Jameson bottles and cut them. So I made glasses from the bottom, and those pretty much made themselves if you want to look at them past those. And then I made the bottom into lamp shades for a chandelier of sorts. We can plug it in at the end, but someone will have to help me. So the vision I wanted to capture was sort of that of a stereotypical old English pub. You've got your lots of green and brown glass with the deep brown, red, wooden textures and tones. The brass and copper, it sort of presents a refined yet aged look that you'd think when you walk into like an old Irish or English pub. The design process, initially I explored a few different concepts which I fleshed out with my team and sort of got some feedback. I decided this is something I wanted to do just because I knew I could probably do it, because I had experimented with it a little bit before. What I sketched out here were sort of two paths. You could either start with a product and then retrofit the upcycled materials in, or start with the material and then make something out of it. This was the latter, and once I figured out sort of the base idea, I had a pretty clear vision. Most of the time was actually spent in speccing the materials to make things all function, and then just designing it and getting it all fabricated. So there are a few steps in creating the chandelier. First of all, I ordered this glass cutter off Amazon. It's kind of funny how it works. It's a little junky. You set the width, and then you put the bottles in it, and you just twist them, and you put a little tiny score in it, and then you run the glasses or the bottles underneath really hot water, then really cold water, and you just keep doing it until eventually it'll just pop off. Next, I bought all the wood and fabricated it all in the shop, stained it, which, since I neglected to sand it first, took like 3 or 4 coats to get any sort of decent stain job on there, and then after that it was just putting it together. So, fabricating the socket assemblies, I just bought sockets and threaded piping that had a hole drilled through it from McGuckins. I machined those to the correct heights. I got all brass hardware because I thought that sort of looked aged and aligned with the aesthetic I was aiming for. My wiring was a little haphazarded because I didn't buy a junction box, so if you look at it afterwards, it's all just strung to the top and then wrapped around screws with the leads to the plug coming off the side. Last, I just made this top piece and then connected it with little eye bolts, and some brass chain, so that if somebody wanted it, they could actually hang it up as a fixture. As far as the functional goals, I'm pleased that it is functional and it's not just for looks, that the lights work and that it's sort of safe. Minor changes would be required if you actually did mount it. Like right now, it's just got an outlet hanging off the side. So if you wanted to mount it, you'd probably need to clean up the wiring and then run it through the top, so you could actually like put it in a lighting fixture. As far as the artistic goals, I think I pretty much hit exactly what I was aiming for, and there's not much I would change other than minor functional tweaks. I think I captured that English pub aesthetic fairly well, and you guys can give me your feedback at the end. Design improvements for future iterations. I would like to add trim pieces to hide the wiring, so like trim pieces along the edges, maybe 1 inch or 2, just so everything was hidden, so if you were looking at this from below, you wouldn't be able to see all the hardware and the wiring. Add a junction box in the middle instead of just 2 screws to consolidate and conceal all the wiring, and then if actually hung up, we'd need to make some tweaks that I just discussed. Other bottle types like jars, beer, wine bottles, and different colors, so that it's not just all green and all whiskey bottles. And perhaps softer or less bright bulbs, because I bought these little ceiling fan bulbs and they're actually really bright. Up next, my uncle is the one who sort of seeded the idea, because he gave 2 of the glasses to me for Christmas, so I might give it to him. Awesome. Any comments or questions?
It looks really good.
It's it's really cool.
Like the quality is so much like higher than pretty much everyone's.
I wouldn't say that, but
No.
I was definitely a little overcommitted because it was supposed to be low cost, and I probably spent like $60 on material when it was all
great.
said and done. But once I'd started it, I wasn't gonna like halfway put it together. So I just need to make sure someone hangs it up somewhere so it's not going in the trash. Did you prove it does work? You can plug it in.
That's really cool.
Ta-da! They're almost too bright, and I would have made the glasses a little longer because the bulbs sort of peek out the bottoms, but I cut the glass before buying the bulbs and the sockets.
I would expect to see that like in a restaurant or somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, very cool.
Yeah, you could start a business.
If engineering falls through, at least I've got a backup plan.
Exactly.
So your uncle gave you some of the glasses, which seeded the idea. So did you just have a nice little party to get the rest of that together, or did you have that laying around?
Actually, I polished off one a couple weekends ago and saved it because I sort of had this in mind. But he had accumulated a bunch like from friends and a year's worth of like saving the bottles because he wanted to do something sort of similar. So, but he never did. So he just had like a milk crate full of bottles.
Oh, wow.
So I just picked
Nice.
out 3 of the Jameson bottles from him, added one myself, and that's all it took.
Nice.
I think you did a good job of the Irish pub aspect of it. Like the stain of the wood is like the perfect color. I think it's like dark and rustic.
Was it hard to get the sockets into the bottles?
So it was actually really easy, and if you want to look at it, you can. It's hard to see because I tried to conceal it. What I was thinking about doing is a lot of the versions I've seen online, they just, you just put a socket through and it just hangs on it. So you could actually just do it on like a string of bistro lights, or you could do it through a fixture, but they were hanging. But I didn't find any sockets that seemed robust enough to just hang these like thick glass things off of. And especially since the wiring was already sort of speculative, I figured what I did is got sockets that you could actually thread something into, and then I stuck those through the bottle and stuck the thread out the top and then bolted that on, so they're like sort of rigidly fixed. It took longer to actually find all the materials than to make it.
Looks good.
Anything else, guys? Thank you.